So these are the things that you need to prepare for availing the tax amnesty of estate tax. Certified true copy of the death certificate is usually gotten from the local PSA. If there's already a PSA certified true copy of the death certificate, you can also get it from the national PSA. Next is the tin of decedent and heirs. Normally, you'll have to apply first for the tin of the decedent. And for the heirs, usually they already have tin. From the certified true copy of the death certificate, you'll notice the residence of the decedent. So that's where you'll get the RDO of the decedent, where you'll get the tin.
Just for the benefit of our audience, there's a separate TIN number for the estate. Nung buhay pa siya, meron siyang TIN number, but when he died, the estate has a separate TIN number, just for our audience's edification.
Actually, the name of the new TIN number is Estate of the Decedent. For the next document, we'll have to file the Estate Tax Amnesty Return or ITAR. It can be downloaded in the BIR website. It is in lieu of the estate tax return that is normally filed for estate taxes. Next is the estate tax acceptance payment form. Actually, it is only received when you'll apply for the estate tax amnesty return. You'll give it to the RDO and they'll give you the estate tax acceptance payment form. Next is either a self-adjudication or deed of extrajudicial settlement of the estate of the decedent, or if it is not extrajudicial, court decision or judgment if the estate has been settled judicially or if there is a last will and testament. Next document that we'll need is the certification of the barangay captain. This is important if the decedent is a resident because he'll claim a family home for the BIR to know in which place he is residing, so that for example, if you have family home worth 5 million and you can only claim 5 million family home.
Just about the family home. So if there's a claim for family home, this will be deducted from your gross taxable estate. Ang essence ito, it will bring down the cost of your estate tax, and the family home will be somewhat protected from taxes.
But the family home has limitation. It is limited to 10 million depending on the date of the death of the decedent. For claims against the estate, sample of it is the contract of loan. You'll need to present contract of loan to avail of the claims against the estate. These are samples of the allowed deduction that we referred to a while ago, or notarized promissory note. Next is the proof of the claim property previously taxed. If there's any property that was previously taxed 5 years before the date of the decedent, for example, before the date of the decedent, he acquired an estate 2 years from his father who died 2 years before he died, he can claim the property previously taxed as a deduction. The proof of the claim, transfer for public use, if any. So if you transferred to the government, you gave a property to the government, you'll need a proof of that to avail of the deduction also. At least one valid government ID of the executor or administrator, or if there is no executor or administrator, the government ID of the heirs, transferees, or beneficiaries. Next, for real properties, these are what we need. These are the documents that we need to present to the BIR. First, the certified true copy of the title of the certificate of title of the real properties. It's either transfer original or condominium certificate of title. Get the certified true copies, you'll have to go to the LRA or the national LRA or the Register of Deeds of the local. Next is the certified true copy of the tax declaration of real properties. If there is an improvement, you'll have to get the tax declaration of the improvement. If there is no improvement, certificate of no improvement is needed. It is issued by the assessor's office. For personal properties, for the cash in bank, you'll have to present the certificate of deposit or investment or indebtedness owned by the decedent either jointly or not. Next is the certificate of registration of vehicles and other proof showing the correct value of those properties. Next is the certificate of stock. You'll need it for if the decedent has stocks. Proof of valuation of shares of stock at the time of death. For this, normally, we give a newspaper clippings at the date nearest to the time of death of the decedent. Next is the valuation of other types of personal properties.
I'd like to add as well that for those, there's a BSP circular that for bank accounts where there is a co-owner or co-depositor, there is a BSP issuance that says that it is presumed that the other co-depositor owns half of the bank account. So just to be clear, for example, there's a bank account jointly in the name of spouses and then one spouse dies, or rather, siguro para mas clear, halimbawa, kami ni Attorney Mark, meron kaming bank account where we are both co-owners or co-depositors. If, for example, something happens to me, it's only half of that amount that will be taxable, that will be deemed to presumed to belong to my estate, and the other half is presumed to belong to the other co-depositor.
The other requirements is the special power of attorney for the authorized representative of the designated executor or administrator. If the document is executed abroad, a certification from the Philippine Consulate or Hague Apostille Convention is needed. If zonal value cannot be readily determined from documents submitted, of the location plan or vicinity map is also needed.
These requirements are for those who will represent, for example, there are other heirs living abroad and the estate needs to be settled here in the Philippines. So usually they execute an SPA. But the problem is for many of our countrymen who live abroad, they need to go to the nearest Philippine consulate before. But there is the Apostille Convention wherein members of this convention can now have their documents notarized through a local notary public wherever they may be situated, as long as that country is a member of the Apostille Convention, and then have that document apostillized or apostilled or whatever you call it, so that they don't have to travel all the way across state or cross country to the Philippine consul. They just need to have that apostille. They inquire if the notary public is familiar with the Apostille Convention, and if you can certify that or apostilize that SPA or extrajudicial settlement, then that document will be acceptable here already in the Philippines. This substantially cuts down the difficulty in getting documents. Dati, di ba, red ribbon yung mga kailangan. Now, for those member countries of the Apostille Convention, and the Philippines just signed into this convention. So, yun, this makes things a little easier.
All returns filed by an accredited tax representative on behalf of a taxpayer shall bear the following information. For individuals, CPAs, members of GPPs, and others, you need the TIN number and the BR accreditation number, date of issue, and date of expiry. This is normally filed within the ITAR. For the authorized representative, you'll have to put it in the signature portion. For members of the Philippine Bar or lawyers, TIN, attorney's roll number, and the MCLE compliance number.